Boo, motherfucker. Anchoring that Bilal energy that I'm fucking with, you know. I want you to use your imagination, close your eyes, and imagine waking up out of your bed and to look outside. You got armed military personnel, police, local police, you know what I'm saying, police sirens, ambulances, tanks, whatever. All are outside your house, wherever you at. All with their guns aimed at you, ordering you to get on the ground. See that. Feel what it feels like to have your existence put on, you know, some full display that you can potentially be killed, where your life is threatened. You know what I'm saying? Your life is on the line now. What would you do? What thoughts go through your mind? How do you feel? What level of emotion are you operating out of? Would you love that experience? Are you angry? Are you violent? I bring up that shit because what happens when you're faced with extinction, when you're faced with, I'm speaking to those on this path that's embodying this chaos energy, that are chaos beings that are pushing the envelopes of their creativity, of their imagination, and that's embodying what it is to be power personified with unlimited potential. What happens is when you're faced with annihilation, when your corporeal existence is faced with extermination, for some of us, there is known as the metagene that exists within our dormant DNA, that lies dormant there, and that is activated when we're faced with stress and the experience of being threatened. Now, you've heard of this topic, metagene, being discussed throughout comic book lore, Marvel, DC, mutants, whatever, X-Men, where this potential, this genetic potential that we have and that I have and use is activated. And what activates it is adrenaline. Your psyche, your thoughts pertaining to things that may upset you, pertaining to things that may have happened to the collective group race that you find yourself in. You know what I'm saying? Say, for example, like us, niggas, black people. I've done rituals where I put myself back into that psychological mindset of being a slave and to think of what, you know what I'm saying, by tapping into my DNA, by tapping into the potential and the ancestral DNA that we share with our ancestors, so to speak, right? So by tapping into that and unlocking that, you know what I'm saying, that ancestral lineage that I have within my DNA structure, right? And to experience what it is to be my ancestor, to go through that, the rigors of what slavery felt like at that time, to go through the different emotions that you feel or that I felt. And I've used that, you know, experimental purposes to generate that anger, to build that aggressiveness into that, and to cook the chaos energy that I have, and to use that as a catalyst to bring forward into this now moment to fuel my alchemical transformation by unlocking that metagene that opens all my psychic faculties tenfold, wherein all my creativity and the belief that I have in being able to activate or do or create anything that I can imagine and more. Now, I just done it just again right now. This was a ritual, me bringing up this whole conversation of me doing that. You know what I'm saying? So You can activate that now. Feel what it feels like to just be angry, and use that. Take that anger and aim it and direct it to your genetic structure, and to open up the faculties that within our DNA that is all powerful, that is all encompassing energy, this chaos energy that we talk about, because we are chaos beings. Some look at it as antimatter beings, dark matter beings. You see what I'm saying? Using that energy to open up the pineal gland to draw in reinforcements from the universe B, drawing reinforcements from the dark matter paradigm, the dark matter energy that exists, and that exists outside of this universe of light, that darkness, that dark energy, that dark matter that we talk about. And that, you know what I'm saying, what CERN is messing around with, doing experimentations on, trying to measure it and see how it, you know what I'm saying, how it's all tied into paranormal activity, because we are paranormal beings. We are paranormal activity personified. But if you know how to tap into that and to use it for your own transformation, your own alchemy, and to weaponize it as an individual on a personal level, that's separating the wheat from the chaff. That's separating the gods from the titans. You know what I'm saying? For example, today outside, it's getting ready to be the spring equinox. You see what I'm saying? A lot of rituals going down on the spring equinox, and I'm one of the individuals that's doing it. You know what I'm saying? Bringing in that energy. I haven't exactly figured out exactly what experiment or ritual I'm going to do, but just know work is being done. But right now, outside, we got clouds in the sky, you know? Mind you, your reality is dictated by your subconscious mind, right? And everything within you that you look at within your observable reality, you collapse as potential waves into particles by the mere fact of you observing them. Not just with your eyes, but with your mind. You see what I'm saying? So when we looking at these clouds in the sky, like for example, I'm gonna give you an example of using Atmos kinesis, one of the abilities that I have and that I incorporate and I use, or just entropy. Entropic Magick is what it is, basically. Pick out a cloud, right? Pick out a cloud. Focus your intention on that cloud. And tell that motherfucker to go away. Will it out of existence. Tell it to leave. Tell it to disperse. Tell it to go back to the nothingness of where it came from. You can either do that aloud, or you can just do what the fuck I just said and just told it to disintegrate, to leave. Now, what this has come to be termed as is looked at as cloud busting. You can look it up and find out ways to disperse clouds or create clouds. Create atmospheric weather conditions, wind, rain, gusts of wind, make the leaves just spiral up. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of different things when you open up your psionic abilities that the metagene, you know what I'm saying? That's what's activated. That's just one of the things that's activated when you unlock the metagene potential within you. It's leaving. I'm almost done, but it's going away. Now you can I've done it where I could literally look at the cloud and gaze at it, so to speak. And I'm using my creativity and my imagination of almost using like heat vision that Superman sends out. You know, he sends out that red beam. Where what I do is sometimes I send out a black beam of just darkness, and I absorb and swallow up the energy. That's one of the creative ways I can do it, by looking at it. But when I'm not looking at it, when I'm not looking at that cloud, it exists as a wave. It exists in wave form. That's potential. You see what I'm saying? So when I'm not looking at it, I can still use my imagination to manipulate the Higgs boson field, which is anything that where matter is not, basically. Where matter isn't is, you know what I'm saying, potential energy. And that's like the Higgs boson field, so to speak. So where that cloud is outside of my observable reality. I'm not looking at it. You see what I'm saying? But I still have it in my imagination, and I'm using that imagination to be able to make that cloud disperse by imagining it being sucked into a black hole. You see what I'm saying? I'm not looking at it. I'm using my imagination to do that. I'm using my imagination to have an effect on matter itself, which that cloud comprises of matter. And boom, it's gone. I still got a little more, still remnant of it gone. It's leaving though. It's dispersing because I willed it out of existence. Now, how can this be done? How the fuck can you do that? How can the fuck can you have a effect on matter itself from your mind? Because I believe it. Because I know and understand that this reality that I find myself in, this reality that God exists in and I am, it exists because I willed it to exist. It exists because I collapsed it into reality. It exists because I exist. It exists because my reality is dictated from my subconscious mind. And what I program my subconscious mind with is going to manifest. You see what I'm saying? So the mindset that I have and many others have is that we're outside the confines and limitations of restricted belief that humans are presented themselves with. We've evolved. We've grown. We've become something new. And that's by unlocking the genetic potential that we have. And this is only the beginning of doing this. You see what I'm saying? There's so many different ways that you can utilize this. You see what I'm saying? If you realize that people are made of water, you know, I mean, it's be responsible with this shit. Like, for example, another thing that I do. Ice, right? Now, I wish it was snow outside. I could, you know, since it's about to be springtime, so I'm gonna just give an example of ice, what I do with ice cubes. Now, Infinity Gauntlet shit. That's how I feel. My mind is the Infinity Gauntlet. But ice. Take some ice cubes, get it out the refrigerator, sit them on the table. You know, this experiment is that you want to see how long it takes for ice to disintegrate in natural conditions, right? Your natural, whatever, you got your heat set in at your house, your temperature, whatever. You know what I'm saying? See how long it takes for it to disperse. So you can set up a phone where you're recording, making a video recording of how long it takes, right? Jot that down, write it down how long it takes for that ice to be able to just, you know what I'm saying, disperse naturally without no outside manipulation, right? Okay. Make sure you write that time down, how long it took the ice to leave, to disperse, right? Okay. Okay, this is the next one. Get another ice cube, right? Now this time, the temperature is the same, everything is the same. The only difference is you're there observing this ice, right? But you're not just there observing it. What you are going to do now is speed up the process of the entropy within the ice to disperse. Speed up the decay rate, so to speak, of that ice. Make it melt with your mind, right? Say if you got a disperse time of whatever it was, how long it took that ice to disperse naturally under just regular conditions, mundane, you know what I'm saying, mundane conditions, make it motherfucking disintegrate faster in half this time that it took to go naturally. Now, you can use your creativity and your imagination you can either gaze at the ice cube, you could stare at the ice cube, you can use your visual staring, you know what I'm saying, to get angry at, you look at the ice and be angry at it and will it out of existence, tell it to get the fuck out of here. You can gaze at it and imagine it being sucked into a black hole. You can gaze at it and imagine, you know what I'm saying, using your creative imagination to send out heat vision to it or whatever. But the result is you're willing it out of existence faster. You're having an effect on matter itself. You're speeding up the process of that material ice to disperse entropy. Watch what happens and jot down the time it takes you to do it. Now, this is the next step. Get another ice cube, right? Set up, you're going to record it again, right? But this time you're not going to be in the room. You're not going to be right there directly looking at it. Go into another room, right? Go in the basement. and will it out of existence just the same. Imagine looking at the ice cube and willing it out of existence. And this time, set a challenge for yourself that you want to do it in half the time it took for you to do it when you were there observing it, when you were there collapsing that wave into a physical particle existence. Because now, this third experiment you're doing, you're manipulating the quantum field. You see what I'm saying? Because you're not there to observe it. So it exists not as a particle, but as light. Well, not as a particle, it exists as waves, right? Potential, waves of energy. The Higgs boson field. You're going to manipulate that. You're going to use your imagination to do this. Now you got to be creative, because you're not there to think about it. You're not there to look at it and observe it. So now you got to hold that idea of that ice cube within your mind and will it out of existence. Just the same. Use your imagination and watch what happens. Watch. Write down the time it took you to do it. And you tell me that you're not. You tell me that you're not different. You've done something. You've unlocked something. You figured something out. And don't be scared when you do it either. Because it sounds insane until you do it, until you try it, and prove and confirm to yourself that, wow, I can affect matter on the subatomic level. Not only can you do that, you can affect matter by thought. Reality warping taking your reality and shaping it and molding it to your benefit, to your desire. You can do that to objects. You can do that to environments. You can do that to people. You can do that to anything with your creative imagination. By unlocking the genetic potential that you have, the metagene. Now, this melanin that we have, that we all talk about, this chaos particle, as chaos beings, one of the things that I've come to understand is that outside of space and time, outside of the illusion simulation that this experiment is, that we're running from our subconscious minds, outside of the confines of limitation that this existence presents itself to us as chaos beings, primordial beings. Outside of this, we're collectively one entity. One unbelievably all-encompassing all. Like you can, what we are literally the realm of imagination, the realm of creativity. We're everything, we're anything. It's really the only way I can describe it, because I've done rituals to confirm and prove that to myself, that that's what we are outside of space and time. I'll go on that on a different video, but that's what we are. So when we come here, when our consciousness is filtered within this realm, it's fractured off under the illusion of separation. It's fractured off and put into human bodies. You know what I'm saying? We've incarnated into these human forms where we're under the illusion of being separate. You know what I'm saying? But this melanin, this dark energy that we are, is manifested into each and every one of us. You know what I'm saying? We think we're different. We think we're separate when we're not. We're non-local. We're, what's the word? Not only non-corporeal, we're non-linear, but we're one entity, right? So if I were to be an individual, if something was to happen when I was faced with annihilation, with that, faced with the scenario that I depicted earlier when I started the video of having my life threatened, I know how to unlock that genetic potential, not only within myself, within every other individual who holds this genetic potential within themselves, as a domino effect, simultaneously as me unlocking my own, by activating it with the thought and intention of me waking up. Not me waking up within myself, but me waking up within everybody, within everyone that's connected to that dark matter, that dark energy, that melanin, that metagene potential. Now, I say that because I've done that thousands of times already on the astral and in my sleep, by weaponizing my dream state, by my understanding that this now waking moment that I'm in is an illusion, or that this is my dream state. And when I go to sleep at night, that's when my reality comes in. And my reality is the realm of imagination and creativity and unlimited potential as chaos personified. That's what I am. That's what I embody. So when I wake up in the morning, that's me coming into this is my dream. You see what I'm saying? So I'm living backwards. My life is backwards. So when I go to sleep at night, that's when I'm waking up. And when I wake up, ain't nothing, only all that I have available to me is everything. You see what I'm saying? So knowing how to unlock that genetic potential within everybody, for them to come online, for me to come online as this monstrous entity that I am. Because I understand I'm not in a singularity. I'm everywhere. I'm in everything. But knowing how to do that, knowing how to unlock that, having an intention behind it when faced with calamity, when faced with me having my life, my physical specimen wiped from existence, I know how to take my consciousness and put it within any and everybody that I want. You see what I'm saying? It's consciousness transference. How can this be done? Because I believe it can be done. Because I know it can be done. By not only the strength of my beliefs, but the fact that I've done it and have experience in doing it on the astral with my imagination. Because the mind is all, the universe is mental. As a man thinketh, so is he. All that cliche shit. No, those sound like just words and good quotes and phrases till you actually embody what it is that's being presented with those words and phrases and become it and do it and activate it and act on that with the level of your imagination. That's what I'm talking about here. That's not just words. Those are concepts that I constantly work with, that I constantly go through different scenarios and ways that I could, you know what I'm saying, be more creative using my imagination. Knowing that I exist throughout the omniverse. You see what I'm saying? These are the things that all of these gifts, all these abilities that I have and that I work with are open to me because I've totally reprogrammed my subconscious mind. I've filtered out everything that I'm presently aware of at this now moment that are hindrances, or that are limitations, that are any type of blockages for my creative potential, for my genetic potential being able to express itself and fully, you know what I'm saying, the way that it can express itself. You see what I'm saying? I've done that. I've done the work on that. And it's a continued work. It never stops. It's always building. It's only building more momentum and intensity. And I can tell you, since I started presenting these videos, coming forward with this information, that I've been presented with so much fucking, listen, so much things have been unlocked for me, and my potential and how I can see how I'm affecting everybody around me, and just being online is astronomical. I really can't put a word on it, but this is only the beginning. You see what I'm saying? This is only the beginning of not just me riding this wave, but setting the foundation for this wave of energy that's prevalent on the planet right now with all this shit. You see what I'm saying? So, not to toot my own horn, because I get a lot of fucking assistance. I got people looking out for me all over the fucking planet. And it's, like I said, it's an appreciation and it's a love, but it's also a confirmation on the intent, my intention of even coming forward with this shit. This was one of my intentions, was connect and expand my level of influence and my, you know what I'm saying, my gifts, my ability, so to speak, to unlock and awaken everybody else that's on my same wavelength. It's only, like I said, it's only building more mental. You see what I'm saying? It's only getting stronger. It's only getting more potent and more powerful. And this is just, like I said, this is only the beginning. I can look back last week into today and see the transformation. You see what I'm saying? It's all about constant growth and not settling and not, you know what I'm saying, being satisfied from where you at psychologically, mentally, spiritually, knowing that it's more and more potential that you can embody and that you can hold. So, psionics, metahumans, metagene, X-gene, demons, demonic portals, the pineal gland. You see what I'm saying? all the things that are talked about within religious books and like religion right now, as far as the fears of what CERN presents itself to be, and people coming under possession and things of that nature. I mean, you gotta understand something. They're not just talking about that out of nowhere. It's a lot of, but that fear that religion set up to, you know what I'm saying, to elicit that fear within people who on that wavelength, only provides for me more energy for absorption. Basically putting themselves on a platter for me to absorb or observe and to weaponize people's fear, not within what CERN presents within me, by becoming what they fear for psychological purpose, just to see if I can do it. Because it's all about challenging yourself. You see what I'm saying? Now, another thing that you can use to challenge yourself, to, you know what I'm saying, unlock your creative potential and your creative abilities, is when you're driving, you might want to use your imagination to will into existence a neon blue car, right? And you using that, you setting that intention. I'm gonna see a fucking neon blue car, and you driving. And for me, when I think about something like that, everything that is blue jumps out to me as reminders for me to build that intensity and intention for me to collapse that blue car from a wave into a particle existence by me observing it and me confirming my intention that set out that I wanted to see that neon blue car. So everything blue jumps out. I'm thinking the things of blue. Blue car, blue throat chakra, water, this fucking Ford pickup truck I'm looking at, blue sky, things that pertain to me as blue. I'm thinking about boom, 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 boom. Then all of a sudden, out the blue, a blue neon motherfucking car just passed by. Boom, confirmed it. Bam. I set my intention and I got my result just by driving. It might take a couple minutes, couple seconds, depending on the will of your desire and your belief. Now, I believe I can do that because I've done that. Beliefs are tools for me, for us, for individuals of my ilk or my frequency that I ride on. So these are things that you can just use to, you know what I'm saying, challenge yourself. You see what I'm saying? If I want to set the intention, I want to see a chick today in a yellow sundress, and it's like 35 degrees. And I build that intensity on it, I'm going to see it. I'm going to witness it. I'm going to collapse it from a wave into a particle. Nah, there's been times that I didn't see those things. You know what I'm saying? You got to challenge yourself with this shit. You know what I mean? You got to challenge yourself. You got to push the envelope with your creativity and your beingness. But to understand something, that this shit that's going on right now, the way these energies that's being prevalent to the planet right now I got like a couple more minutes on this shit, about like 2, but just know that with the intensity of people being so sensitive and people being so touchy-feely with political things and memes and what people say and how people's self-esteem is so low, understand that that's not by accident. It's atmospheric conditions prevalent within the collective unconscious of humanity that's eliciting these levels of emotion, of stress, of self-destructive behavior, of just feeling like lack, feeling like, you know what I'm saying, confidence is shattered, self-esteem is shattered, people got identity politics. All these atmospheric psychological conditions that are being set up are making, all it is putting tenderizer on the meat for me to absorb, or putting more lab rats within my experiment for me to conduct experimentation on, creating more psychological mind control slaves for me to control. That's what's being done. So right now is the time to, if you on this frequency, if you're doing the work, if you're consistent with your spiritual practice or whatever it is, left hand, right hand, whatever, but you need to embrace your darker nature, your monster soul, and know that you can take your emotions, which is energy and motion, and use them to unlock the dormant potential that's within your DNA, the alien DNA, the junk DNA. You can activate that shit because the potential that's there is all encompassing. It's chaos energy, and it's referred to as the metagene. You see what I'm saying? The metagene potential. You need to look that up. You need to cultivate the understanding of what that is and why they so afraid of it. Heat, stress, environmental conditions, Flint water crisis, all these different type of scenarios cooks melanin. It cooks chaos energy. And what that does is elicits more emotions of anger, angst. You get violent. But when you control that and funnel that and use that and aim it and direct it to something that's going to be a benefit to you, like unlocking your genetic potential, unlocking your psychic faculties and your belief, using it to fuel your belief in yourself and the all-powerful energy that you embody as the God of your reality. Checkmate. Another thing, on the cloud, I can look at a cloud and put my consciousness in the cloud and become the cloud and disperse myself. And it'll go away. I'll go away. After the cloud, I'll disperse myself. And then I'll go back into my singularity existence, my consciousness back into this physical form that I'm in, and observe myself disappearing with the cloud, as the cloud. That's another way you can do that shit. You can put your consciousness in any and everything that you're looking at, that you're observing. Why? Because you plugged into everything. How are you plugged into everything? Because everything is coming from within you. Everything is being projected outward as external illusions of separation from your subconscious mind. As a man thinketh, so is he. Chaos reigns supreme. And I am. This is only the beginning of what the fuck I'm doing, the wave that I'm riding and shit, and the energy that I'm bringing forth with this information. You know that this shit is already done. This already has manifested, and it's already bearing its fruits. But this is only the beginning. So keep pushing the envelope on your creativity. And on a cloudy day like this, pick a cloud out and will it out of existence. Try it. Sounds insane until you do it. Chaos reigns supreme. I'm about to snap y'all motherfuckers out of existence. Stopping this boy at 33 minutes because it's the ritual.